And so this class I wanted to do, so it's going to run a little bit longer, and it's called Mindful Resilience for the Holidays. Now, certainly, not only can you use this for the holidays, but you can use this really for any time, all the practices I'll be sharing with you today. So certainly when we come into the holiday season, it's really a tapestry of emotions and experiences. It can be a time of joy, time of sorrow, time of connection and loneliness, energy and exhaustion, right? But we're going to explore how mindfulness can really help us navigate these complexities to help us to manage stress and find balance. So let's just start by taking a deep breath in together. And as you exhale, allow yourself to fully arrive in this moment now. And ready for a journey of mindfulness and self-discovery. So you can come back now to the room. We'll be doing a little bit of mindfulness practice in a little bit here. So as we know, the holiday season brings a blend of emotions, a time of celebration and reflection, of looking forward and also looking back. And we may gather with loved ones, cherish connections, yet sometimes we might feel isolated or miss those who are no longer with us. There's the bustle of activities, but also the need for rest and rejuvenation. So, acknowledging these contrasting experiences is really essential. And we could take a few moments here to reflect on past holiday experiences, considering both the joys and the challenges. And when we understand these dynamics, it can help us approach the season with greater awareness and compassion, certainly. So, with this reflective exercise, let's take a moment here to open up to that invitation of looking at the opposites. So, close your eyes and just think back to previous holiday seasons. I'm going to have you consider some questions. So let's recall some joyful moments. So, what are some of the happiest memories you have of past holiday seasons? Maybe it's a family tradition. Maybe it was a special event or the feeling of togetherness. And as you recall this memory, pay attention to the feelings that they evoke and how your body responds to these feelings. And then let's go to the flip side now. And can you recall any particular challenge you faced during the holidays? Maybe it's a sense of loss or feelings of overwhelm or any other difficulties. And again, paying attention to the feelings that are evoked, how your body responds, any sensations, emotions, or thoughts that arise. And so now gently bring yourself back to the present. So understanding the dual nature of the holidays, the joy and the challenges is essential. And having this awareness, it allows us to approach the season with greater compassion for ourselves and also for others. It also helps us to prepare mindfully, setting the stage for a more balanced and fulfilling holiday experience. And we know that the season can bring many emotions and memories. But let's now shift our focus to practices that can help us navigate these feelings with more ease and awareness. And the first one, and if you've been with me, of course, you know that mindful breathing can be a very powerful tool to bring us back to the present moment, helping us to find calm and balance amid the holiday hustle and bustle. So, this mindful breathing exercise will provide us with a technique to center ourselves, whether we're experiencing joy or stress or anything in between during, during these next days coming up. It's a way to consciously pause and reconnect with our inner calm. So, certainly, you probably have been practicing mindfulness meditation or other meditation techniques. Probably you've been joining me, but I'm here to remind you of the techniques that we do have that we can use during this season. So, if you're ready, let's begin. So, immersing ourselves in a mindful breathing exercise now, as I said, wonderful way to cultivate uh, relaxation, deepen our awareness. So, finding that comfortable seat. And if you're sitting on a chair, planting your feet firmly on the ground. And if you're on the floor, you can cross your legs or sit in any position that feels comfortable. You could just rest your hands on your knees or in your lap, gently closing the eyes or lowering the gaze. Let's begin by taking a deep, intentional breath, inhaling slowly through your nose, feeling the abdomen expand with your lungs fill with air. And hold this breath for a moment at the top of the inhale. And now, when you exhale, just gently do so through the mouth. As you release this breath, feel any tension in your body just start to melt away. And then let's do this again. Inhale slowly and deeply, filling your lungs, feeling out. The breath is cooler as you inhale, holding it gently, and then exhaling slowly, feeling that warmth of the breath as you release it. And so, with each exhale, allow yourself to release stress, worry, any thoughts that may be crowding your mind. So, let's continue to breathe in this slow, deep pattern. So, inhale, imagine bringing in peace and calm. And with each exhale, imagine letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. And now let your breath return to its natural rhythm, observing the natural flow of your breath, noticing how your chest and abdomen rise and fall with each breath. Feel the air entering through your nostrils and a soft exhale through your nose. And you don't need to change or regulate your breath in any way, just let it be. And as you continue to breathe, bring your awareness to this moment. And if your mind begins to wander to holiday plans, to-do lists, or any other thoughts, just gently acknowledge them. And then kindly bring your attention back to your breath. And this practice of returning to the breath is where mindfulness strengthens. And in these last few moments of our breathing exercise, I invite you to set an intention for the rest of your day. Could be simply be the intention to stay present as much as possible, to be kind to yourself and others, or simply to breathe mindfully amidst the busyness of the holiday season. And then when you're ready, you can slowly bring your attention back to the room, opening the eyes, and just taking a moment to notice how you feel. Maybe you feel a little bit more relaxed and centered. So just a reminder, we'll be going a little bit longer today, probably about 15 minutes after the hour or so. So let's move into mindful observation and gratitude practice. So when we are looking at mindful observation, it's a technique that allows us to fully engage with the present moment and to appreciate the richness of our experiences, especially during the holidays. So I invite you to just close your eyes again and visualize a holiday scene or activity. Now, it could be a family dinner, decorating your home, snowy landscape, or even a quiet moment with a cup of hot cocoa. And imagine yourself in this scene and immerse yourself in the detail. And as you're doing this, notice the colors around you in this scene. Are they warm and vibrant? Are they cool and soothing? Observe any objects, maybe decorations, their shapes, their textures, how they're arranged. What sounds are present? Maybe there's music playing, maybe there's the chatter of conversation or the laughter of loved ones. Or perhaps it's just the serene silence of a winter night. Let's focus on any smells associated with this scene. Maybe it is the aroma of holiday meals, maybe the scent of pine from a tree, or the crispness of the winter air. Fully engage your senses as if you are truly there. This is your image. And breathe in this moment. Allow yourself to experience the joy and peace of this mindful observation. And now gently bring your attention back to the present. And you can open your eyes if they were closed and just take a moment to carry the feelings from this visualization with you. And when we get to the end of this today, I will open it up for any sharing as well too. So as we transition from our mindful observation and the imagery that we created for ourselves, let's now engage in something else that will help us in the holiday season, and that's a gratitude practice. And I know, we always talk about gratitude, but do we really practice it, right? Gratitude has the power to shift our perspective from stress to joy, and it helps to foster a sense of contentment and deeper appreciation for life. So, what I'd like you to do is to think of just three things you are grateful for this holiday season. These can be small or significant. It could be a person, a moment, an aspect of your life, or even a challenge that has brought growth. And reflect on each one and consider why it holds importance to you. Now, if you wanted to jot this down, if you have pen and paper nearby, you can do that. Certainly you can. But just take a few moments to do that. Three things and have gratitude for those. And as you focus on these things, notice the feeling of gratitude in your body. Where do you feel it? Perhaps there's a warmth in your heart, or maybe there's just a lightness in your being. Embrace these feelings. Gratitude opens our hearts and allows us to see the beauty in our lives, even amidst challenges. And now gently bring your awareness back to the present. And if there's anything else that you wanted to jot down, maybe these points of gratitude that you found, you can certainly do that. Or you can just carry them in your heart as a reminder of the abundance in your life. So thanks for engaging in these two practices, the mindful observation, the gratitude, the mindful breathing that we did earlier. And just remember, these are tools that are always available to you, helping to bring mindfulness and appreciation into your holiday experience, but also into your everyday life. And as I said, these are reminders. We know about these practices. It's just we may forget about them this time of year with all the busyness that occurs. So, how can we use mindfulness in a way to cope with what's occurring in our lives during this time? So, these are some coping strategies. So, when we look at the practice that we just did of mindful breathing, think about when you can do that practice. Maybe it's before family dinners, maybe it's during your morning routines. Remember, this can help you to manage stress. Let's go back to the mindful observation that we did. What are some activities where we can apply this mindful observation? Well, it could be observing the lights and decorations, maybe even if you're out for a drive, maybe being present while you're cooking, It's another way of observing all the senses, bringing all those senses in. Now, what about our gratitude practice, the final one that we just did? Well, plan a daily routine for practicing gratitude. Maybe every night before bed, list 3 things that you are grateful for that day. And really, when you do that, it helps you get a better night's sleep. I was just telling my husband about this the other day because I read it somewhere else. So, another practice that we can use is the rain practice. That's been developed a little bit more by Brach. It's really a mindful way to deal with difficult emotions. And particularly this time of year, if you are dealing with the overwhelm or the emotionally challenged emotions that come up during the holiday season, if you're feeling emotionally challenged, I should say. And there's 4 stages to the RAIN practice. R for recognize, A for allow, I for investigate, and N for nurture. So you can use this at any time, this practice, to help you, and not just during the holidays as well. So let me just talk about it and then we'll get into the actual practice. So recognize, what does that mean? That means, what are you feeling right now? And identify that emotion. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's loneliness. So the A is allow, let this emotion be there, let it be present, accept it without trying to push it away in any form. And then the I, investigate, exploring this emotion with kindness. Why is it there? What's causing it? And then the N is for nurture. Offer yourself compassion. What do you need to do right now to care for this feeling? What do you need to hear? Repeat it in your mind. And that's the 4 pieces to the RAIN practice. And so let's walk through this practice together and do it now. And if you don't have any strong emotions right now, that's okay. This is a practice, so you can be ready for when those emotions do arrive. So you could just even do it with happiness, for instance. So let's explore our practice, this powerful mindfulness tool, and remembering, recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture, and I will guide you through the practice. So the first step is to recognize. That means identifying with what you are feeling right now. So just take a moment first. Let's take a few deep breaths. And moving into that space of recognition. What am I experiencing? Are you experiencing stress or anxiety, sadness, or another emotion? And just take a moment to sit with this feeling. It's okay to silently name it to yourself. And recognizing is the first step of acknowledging your inner emotional experience. Now, the next step is allow. This means letting the emotion be there without trying to change it or even judging it. Don't judge it. It's like saying, it's okay to feel this. And it is. So allow yourself to feel whatever you are feeling without resistance. This can be challenging, but it's a critical step in processing your emotions. It's okay to feel this. Now let's move to investigate. Moving to investigation. So, with a sense of curiosity, but also kindness, explore your emotion. And you can ask yourself what triggered this feeling. Also, how does it manifest in my body? Where do you feel it in the body? Maybe it's in the chest, jaw, belly, hands, even. What thoughts or stories am I telling myself about this feeling? And remember, we investigate with compassion, not criticism. So, what triggered this? Where do I feel it in the body? What thoughts am I telling myself about this feeling? Doing so with compassion and kindness. And the final step is nurture. So offer yourself some compassion and comfort. Now, you might imagine a friend or loved one offering you words of kindness and understanding. What do you need to hear right now? It could be a message like, I'm here for you. It's going to be okay, or you're not alone. Maybe you want to put your hands on your heart. Maybe you want to give yourself a hug or just a hand on your face. And let these nurturing words or images or motions fill you with warmth and comfort. And now take a deep breath and gently release the practice. Reflect on the experience of rain and how it felt to walk through each step. And remember, rain is a tool that you could use anytime to work through difficult emotions, especially during times of stress or overwhelm. So, thanks for engaging in this rain practice. A wonderful way to cultivate mindfulness and self compassion, helping us navigate our emotions. So, before we get into any sharing, I'd like to just share a few things about managing expectations and emotional triggers. So, as we navigate the season, important to manage our expectations, be aware of those emotional triggers, and let's explore some strategies. Well, first of all, managing expectations. The holidays often come with that sense of perceived ideals, which can lead to disappointment. So, first thing we can do is embrace imperfection. Just remind yourself that it's okay if things don't go as exactly as planned. Holidays don't have to be perfect to be enjoyable. Embracing imperfection can really lead to unexpected joys and less stress. The next piece is set realistic goals. Be realistic about what you can achieve, whether it's related to holiday preparations or gift giving, social commitments. Know your limits and don't overcommit. The next point is communicate clearly. So if you're hosting or organizing events, communicate your plans clearly with your family and friends. When you set clear expectations, it really helps to prevent misunderstandings and last minute stress. The next one is prioritize. Decide what's most important to you this holiday season and focus on these priorities rather than trying to do everything. So take a moment to think about those. Maybe you want to jot some of those down. I know for me, this is something I've been working on for many, many years. Of there was a workshop I used to teach called "Unplug the Christmas Machine," and for many, many years, a couple decades, and it was that whole idea of identifying what are my values, what can I let go of, what can I really cherish and have for myself, and quiet is a big part of our holidays here. So, how do we handle those emotional triggers that come up? First of all, identify your triggers. Be aware of what triggers your stress or emotional responses during the holidays. It could be, well, for me, I know it's managing my energy. If I'm tired, I can get really cranky. But it could be certain topics of conversation. It could be busy shopping environments, something I totally avoid, or even specific family dynamics. The other thing you can do is have a plan. Once you know your triggers, have a plan on how you're going to handle them. This might mean practicing a quick mindfulness exercise. Maybe it's setting boundaries or having a way to politely excuse yourself from a stressful situation. I can't tell you enough how important it is to practice self care. Regularly engage in self care activities. It could be as simple as taking a quiet walk, enjoying a favorite hobby, or practicing relaxation techniques, listening to some of Deb's sound baths or sound healing. Seek support. Don't hesitate to reach out for support if you need it, whether it's talking to a friend, a family member, or even a counselor. Be sure to do that. Have a mindful response. So, anytime you're faced with a trigger, take a moment to pause and breathe before responding. When you do this pause can give you the space to choose a more mindful and less reactive response. Managing your expectations and understanding your emotional triggers can help you to navigate the holidays with greater ease and joy. So, set your boundaries too. Maybe make a list of those. Make a list of your self care activities that you'll do. And where can you bring in mindfulness? Mindful walking, observing the sights and the lights. And how about the smells, like we did in that mindful observation, right? But really do it in real time, right? Mindful cooking, baking, focus on each smell, the ingredient, the vanilla, whatever it is you're using, listening to nature, to music. And as I said, seek support if you need it. It's important to take care of ourselves during this time. The holidays are a time for compassion and connection. And I do thank you for joining me in this class today. I hope that what we talked about today, the mindfulness practices, bring you peace, joy, and resilience during the holiday season and beyond. And I'll say these are practices that I've been doing for a while with my holiday. Yeah, it's good to have these reminders, for the holidays, but knowing that we can bring in our mindful practices at any time. But a lot of times we get caught up in the holidays and we forget what we can do for ourselves. And the one, that I shared towards the end there about pausing, right? Someone says something, something happens, you burn the cookies, whatever it may be. Step back, pause, breathe. Now, this is all about stepping back, being in the present moment, being aware of the senses. Like if you are feeling anxious, start looking around for those. If you remember the sensory awareness practice that I've done before in the past, it's engaging those five senses. So, 5 things you can see, 4 things that you can touch, even if it's your shirt or your hair, whatever that will be, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and then 1 thing you can taste, even if it's just water, you know, or just taking your tongue over your teeth. Maybe it's something you just ate. You could still taste that, or your toothpaste, or what have you. That is a sure way to help with anxiety, the sensory awareness. And you take your time with each one. Certainly, if you need to step out of the room, do that as well. Whatever you can do for you, because this is your holiday season. And you can do these practices to bring some resilience into your life too. Love the decorations. Being around too many people is overstimulating. I understand that. That's myself included. Yeah, so you could practice that. So yeah, you can look at the decorations, and there's lots of ways that we can help ourselves during this time. And even looking further down the road about what you can do, and that's something that we have done over the years ourselves, our family, is how can I allow my holiday season to be what I want it to be? And one of the things that we want it to be is just very quiet and um, nurturing for ourselves, particularly like this year. My husband and I, he now has his business and going full steam, and I have my business, and we just like to take it easy. The grandkids, we haven't pinned down a date yet. I'm waiting to hear back from my daughter, but seeing those, seeing the kids and the baby, and so we put that in. But also being mindful about the time spent as well too. Talking about overstimulation, it's like, yeah, that's something that can happen to me. So I have to be careful with myself, because it can trigger within me some physical symptoms. So yes, yeah, it's hard this year, I know, because you lost someone very important to you. It's a season that holds a lot of memories of them, yeah. And you can hold that in your heart. And I know this is your first Christmas without that person, and you can, use all the practices, using the rain practice particularly, in working with that. So I hope you found some of these practices helpful today. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time to be here this morning. Hopefully you'll use these practices, and I'd like to hear how those worked for you over the season. So thank you, my friends, and many blessings. Namaste.